Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is an update for Bitcoin. I want to show you on the hourly count my two primaries I have right now. One is as a WXY where we completed at this high here in July of 2023. The other is we had the top here in April of 2023. The main difference being whether or not we get this new low here. This is what I think is most likely to happen as an ABC, and we actually topped in a WXY for a larger A wave, at which point we come down for our B. We need that C wave to complete, and then we attempt new highs after that. I've been looking at a couple things on this chart just to add to that evidence. One of them is this trend line, depending from where you pull it. If you take it from the bottom here across, you can see we bumped right up against it. But if you pull it from all three pivots, there's a possibility we come a little higher, and this can make some sort of flat from a higher level up here. But it's not going to stop me from potentially taking a trade here. Now, going down on the hourly, I'm still sticking with this count until it proves me otherwise. And this is on Bitstamp. It's the only count I've been able to get a clean 5-wave pattern out of. I'll show you that here. We got 5 waves down and a leading diagonal for our wave 1. Came between the 50 and the 618 for our 2. Came down for our 3rd at the 1.618 extension of that wave 1. We had a deep retracement for our 4th. And we came down and made a slightly new low here for our 5th. At which point we made a WXY, series of complex corrections to the upside. But the low in the 5 wave is actually over here, which leads me to believe we need to come down to the outside, to the downside, because as you know, you can't really finish a low in a 3-wave pattern. We had an expanded flat and a double 3 here for our Y. And as you can see, we just nicked through the 618 Fibonacci level. Put that on the left of this wave down, pulled from the 5th wave down here. So it's a pretty interesting area. As you can see, we have that underside resistance from that trend line, depending where we pull it from. We're at the 618 retracement, and it appears we haven't made a low yet. So all the evidence to me points that we need to make a lower low. And right now that target is the 1-to-1 extension. If I zoom out here again, go to linear scale, that's 23,000 pretty much even, which brings us to the right between the 50 and the 618 of the fib pulled from the low to the high. So looking for this move here. And in time, that would put us at right at the beginning of December there, first week of December, if we take the same amount of time to get there as this wave. That's that number extended off. So potentially, I'm not a big fan of giving time limits, but if we drop from here, we'd expect to be there by December. So going down to the hourly, again, I'm not saying this is going to happen. Elliott Wave doesn't give us exact guarantees that it's going to happen, but we have to look at the evidence available. We hit the lower side of that trend line, depending where you pull it from. We hit the 618 of the down move. We had a big dump here. I know it was on crazy news, but we had what appears to be a wave 1 down. We came up and hit off between the 50 and the 618 of that retracement. If we go down to the 15-minute, it appears like we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sideways 4, 5, potentially complete. So it appears we have potentially a 1, 2, 1, 2. And this looks like an double zigzag with a triangle in the middle. We had A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, Just want to see the measurements on that. Just double checking these measurements to see where we pull from. Yeah, 618 hit. So that looks like potentially a 1, 2, and we get our 3, 4, 5 much lower. Bump that up a level, and we get another 1 working on the 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a degree lower. Just pulling the fibs here where that would take us. Third would take us to the 1.618. This would take us between the 2 and the 2382. Let's take us to the 1 to 1. Let's be the one down here. So potentially something like that. Might get an extended wave to make sure we get down to that target, but on log scale gets us pretty close. So there might be an extension somewhere if we need to get down to that target. It's either we'd expect the 1.618 to around 25.5 and then 26.9 and somewhere in between here. And I put on a pitchfork off the high pivot, off the low. You can see that kind of takes us down to that level, though it might take a little longer. Might not, it's not going to be that fast. That would take us out to this area, so it would have to be spread out a little bit. Something like that. So we'll come back to the 15-minute. So the question I ask myself is, why would I not take this trade, right? Everything else is looking pretty weak at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end up taking this trade myself. I'm going to take it. I'm going to set up my sells, my short orders right after I get off this video. I'm going to be pulling off the second one too, though. And I'll take the 382, the 50, and the 618. Of this second smaller wave. And I'll pick which one's closer. Log 28.458. 28.458. So I'll be taking that. I'll be buying a third, or selling, sorry, a third at 382.50 and the 618. Stop's going to go at this high. So my average buy will be around here. Stop will go at this previous wave 2 high. And I'll be targeting down around 23,000. I'll just target the 2.382 now, but targeting even lower than that, as you know. Right there, around 23K. So even if we front run it a bit, still get potentially a nice 10-to-1 setup. So I'm going to take this short. It looks like a 1-2-1-2. It looks pretty good. And the bullish scenario here is this is all an A wave. This is all an A wave. We're working on a B wave, and we come higher and make a flat, at which point I might take a short from up here. If we get that alternate case, I will enter short up here, and I will take a long if we get a flat pattern like this. Nothing says the short has to happen, but you can see how good the risk reward is there. So I asked myself, why wouldn't I take a 618 fib level from the down wave, a potentially completed WXY, a potentially second 1-2-1-2. It seems crazy not to take it, right? So I'm going to take that. Stop's going to be at this high, and I'll be looking to short up here. And if I get stopped out up here and I just think the correction's getting bigger, like this ends up making another 3-wave move at the 618, but then we get another 5 waves down, well then I might take another entry short over here. But this trade set up for me, the stop's currently at this high. If you want to be more risk adverse, my suggestion would be to move your high up to this wave 5 high over here as our Y wave. That's how you protect yourself a little more on this trade. You allow more patterns to fill out to make it as most likely to happen as long as we protect this low. But you can see you only get a 3-to-1 risk reward. I'm okay with taking this one. I get a 10-to-1. If I get stopped out, I can re-enter again at a pretty nice risk reward. All right, guys, so that's Bitcoin. I'm going to be taking the short. And if we get a long, I would expect some sort of pattern like this. And then I'd be interested in a short up here, long up here as a flat pattern. All right, guys, that's it for Bitcoin. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see updates on this. And thanks for watching.